Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and WoW has hit its 21st anniversary. That means the anniversary event is back in Daenerys, right outside of Caverns of Time. Ever since last year's anniversary, with the revamp the entire system altogether, this anniversary is making a comeback with a lot of the similar rewards if you never gotten them previously, but also some of the unique events available only during the anniversary are back, like the BRD raid, the dungeon instance converted into a raiding experience. We also have all of the original world bosses back up and available, from the Dragons of Nightmare all the way down to Shah of Fear, as well as Archivon, which some of them are located right there in Daenerys. But some of the bosses like Shah of Anger and Archivon having their mounts that are related to their boss drops also available for you to obtain during the anniversary event. And besides this, a ton of rewards, but also a lot of opportunity for you to obtain more time warp badges. So for today's video, I'm going to go over everything that is available in terms of content and the rewards during the anniversary update, and some of the benefits that you should definitely take advantage of while they're here. With that being said, as always, if you guys want to see more regular updates when it comes to World of Warcraft, be it for War Within or Legion or Midnight Beta, be sure to follow the channel and subscribe. But otherwise, let's dive right in. With it being the anniversary event, one of the big benefits of every anniversary is a new EXP buff, with the baseline WoW anniversary providing you 10% bonus experience and reputations. However, you can increase it by additional 10% by completing a couple of events and quests and activities within the Caverns of Time, which saw a pretty big revamp last time around, and they're essentially bringing back this revamped version for this year as well. What's cool about the anniversary buff is that not only is a buff towards experience gains, but also reputations as well. So if you're behind on some factions or behind on your renown, this can be potentially really good in terms of trying to get some of those reputations out of the way. And one of the easiest ways for you to be able to obtain that 10% additional bonus from doing the quest is either to go and pick up a pet mirror and then, well, pop out a pet, mirror the pet, and then run around collecting a bunch of pet treats kind of scattered around the pet area. All really easy to do. And if you're just looking to fill up the quest really quickly, that would probably be the fastest way of doing it. The easiest way is also just to sit in a basket for a few minutes, and eventually as you sit in a basket, that helps complete the timer. You could also actually be active during the event and do a bunch of activities around the Caverns of Time also, but if you just look at to just jump in a basket, walk away for a little bit, come back and get the XP buff, that is also another way of going about it. What's cool about the XP buff is it does stack with other bonuses. So the Warband buff, which can be up to 25%. The more characters you level, the higher the buff can be. Then you also got War Mode. If you're looking to quest out in the open world, that can be a pretty nice bonus. And also you can stack it together with other consumables like the Draught of 10 Lands, which is a potion from Battle for Azeroth Warfront vendors, which are located in Borealis and which is Kultiras, as well as on the docks of Zuldazar. There's a special quartermaster for those for either faction, and those potions only work up until you get about level 49, but you can refresh it right before hitting level 49, and that bonus can potentially last with you all the way to max level. And also, if you have any potions from the Mysterious Wisdom buff that we had a couple of times here in War Within, that should stack up with it as well. So it's going to be yet another 10% experience that you can gain. And you can quest in some of the earlier zones for both Alliance and Horde, either around Silverpine Forest or around Elwyn Forest, Red Ridge Mountains, Darkshire, and things like that. And it's a pretty safe area for you just to quest in those zones without really seeing members of the opposing faction for War Mode, so you can quest pretty easily. That being said, we also should acknowledge that Legion Remix is a thing. It is a feature that's active right now, and Legion Remix offers some of the fastest leveling out there. If you're not into Legion Remix whatsoever, this could potentially be a solid alternative questing path and leveling path. But if you are looking for the fastest leveling, and if you have a main character on Legion Remix, there's a pretty good chance that with the buffs up to like 100 and 200% experience gain that you can get on Legion Remix specifically, yeah, that's probably going to actually be a little bit faster. But the best part about the anniversary event are some of the rewards that you can obtain from here. And there's a bunch of vendors that are available on the actual Caverns of Time festivity grounds where you can obtain a bunch of the items from here. The vendors, however, looks like have been revamped a little bit this time around. It says in a blue post that you will still be able to earn bronze badges, and maybe come Tuesday/Wednesday reset, depending on your region, maybe those vendors will start to pop up with bronze badges all over again, but it looks like for the most part all the vendors have been converted to use Time War badges instead. So all of these items should be a little bit easier to purchase unless Tuesday or Wednesday comes around and then they change it all out of the blue. It doesn't look like we'll be getting bronze badges, even though the article says that we are. Some of the vendors that you'll notice here is an armor merchant that has the tier 2 class sets from the previous anniversary event, so if you forgot to pick them up or if you weren't playing at the time, this is the opportunity to spend quite a lot of Time War badges altogether to pick up a bunch of those iconic tier 2 recolors of the class sets, which look amazing. But also there's a new set to collect, the Loyal Watchman's armor set, which doesn't look the most extravagant, but yet another set for you to add to your collections. Then you also have the old Alterac Valley PvP gear vendors that have a lot of the original Alterac Valley items. Some of them maybe can be used for like low-level characters when you're leveling through dungeons and such, but for the most part they're just for additional cosmetics. You also got Timely Trinkets vendor, which has the Coal Flame cosmetics, as well as Little Doomy Pet. There's your World Chiller mount, as well as the Illiterate Dragonhawk mount, which were available during previous anniversary updates. The Edwin Cleave costume, which is just a temporary appearance for your character, as well as a bunch of other fun celebratory items. Of course, there's also another vendor, the Titles vendor, which does have some fun, unique titles, and has a new one. You know, there's like a Legion Enthusiast, Dreader Enthusiast, Wrath of Lich King Enthusiast. There's one for Kazagar as well, so now you can basically show off which of the expansions so far was your favorite. Now, as you make your way around the actual grounds of Caverns of Time, you'll notice there's a bunch of quests for you to be able to obtain more Time War badges, and I think this event actually gives you a pretty nice boost if you are behind on Time War badges for all the time walking vendors, or if you want to stock up for any future rewards. This is the best time to actually jump into it as soon as possible. There's a bunch of quests that you can complete, from answering various questions about the history of Azeroth for just a handful of badges, but also other group events like Chromie Time Codex, which is essentially like a 20-man dungeon slash scenario. It's very fast paced. It's not incredibly engaging, to be honest, but it does award you some veteran track gear at the end of the box, and also award you Time War badges as well. The Korax Revenge with the Battleground is actually returned, which is essentially like an ever-ending original version of the Alterac Valley. If you're big into PvP, I love big open BGs. Alterac Valley of the Old is back, and during this time, you'll be able to collect additional honor, but also additional Time War badges from the event. But there's also a quest in order to participate in it to get a bunch of badges immediately. Also, old world bosses have returned, either the 3 ones that are patrolling around Teneris, and you can actually see them on the map. We have the Archivon, the Stone Watcher, Shah of Anger, as well as, I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be to the south, is a Doom Walker. So those are going to be available here in Teneris, but then there's the original ones like Azuragos, which is in Ajara, the original location. There's also Lethon, one of the Dragons of Nightmare, which changes on daily rotation, as well as Lord Kazakh down below. And there's even a quest to slay either the world boss in Teneris or slay the world bosses in some of the original old zones. Those are world bosses as well, at least the ones that were related to my quest that was given to me by the NPC. The world bosses with the quest also had a chance for me to drop veteran track gear, which can be pretty decent for gearing any of your old characters, and they seem to be pretty generous for the most part. Like 2 out of 3 bosses gave me some loot. I don't know if that's consistently like that, or maybe I just got super lucky. The Blackrock raid is also live during the anniversary event. For the time being, it's only available on LFR, but previously we did have vendors as well as the raid itself available on normal and heroic. However, going over to the actual main area, all we have is Moria Thorson. She's hanging out, but there's no vendors off to the side. But as you complete the raid, you still can earn these coffer keys, which are usually used to trade in other vendors. So I'm not sure if maybe come Tuesday, Wednesday, regional server resets, maybe that's when they'll add all the vendors back in. Maybe potentially they'll unlock more than just the LFR version of the raid. Who knows really? But for the time being, you can queue the LFR difficulty version of the raid, which awards you veteran track gear and a bunch of upgrade currencies. As you complete the raid, you also will be able to encounter mini bosses throughout the raid as well, and they also awarded some loot. The gear isn't amazing, but if you have a brand new fresh level 80 character, this is at least some starter gear to get you up and running with at least a few items, and if anything, it does offer an opportunity for you to collect some additional transmogs. Like I said, once the server resets come around, just check back on the actual main grounds area in case the normal and heroic vendors are back in, because then you'll be able to queue for the raid on normal and heroic difficulty, which does offer you a bit more challenge, but also gives you an opportunity to get some guaranteed rewards with the coffer keys that you'll obtain by slaying any of the bosses as well as any of the mini bosses within the instance. Outside of this, you also have a bunch of fun events that you can participate in within the Caverns of Time grounds, which are just for the enjoyment of it, not necessarily for any kind of unique reward specifically, but you have a number of things like Mount Mania, for instance, which is a mount off competition, which is pretty enjoyable. It's for any players that have a bunch of mounts. You essentially just watch the mount that the director calls out and then mount it in order to earn points, and the person that earns the most amount of points is the winner. Then you also have the Transmog competition, which is essentially trial of style but en masse. That happens a lot more regularly, and you get these ribbons, and you can give out ribbons to all the players that you like their mogs of for like different themes that are available during the event, and whoever has the most ribbons ends up winning the competition. Then you also have the story time, where you just basically get to experience some of the lore stories together with Lore Walk and Show, and they're a little bit interactive, but nothing super crazy. It's just something for you to do while you're hanging around on the Caverns of Time grounds that also helps you complete that quest if you're looking for that additional bonus experience gains. But with that being said, as always, I do want to thank all of you guys so much for watching, and hope you guys did enjoy this update. If you did enjoy it or found it informative, go ahead and give this video a like, as I would very much appreciate it. It helps out the channel tremendously. Be sure to follow our Discord community, link in the description down below, for any future updates with Legion Remix getting some content, Midnight Beta continue to get more additional changes, and there's going to be some pretty big updates within Midnight Beta in particular very soon, but also the patch 11.27, which is arriving somewhat soon, in like a couple of weeks actually. So there's a lot going on when it comes to just playing WoW. With that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, I'll see all of you guys in the next one.